What's going on here? Why are you doing this to me? Okay, you're going to tell me why you stole the magic Fabergé egg and what were you going to do with it? I'll never talk! Well, in that case, I'll guess I have Jeremy here do things which I'm pretty sure are illegal. Do you want me to slice his kneecaps up with a knife, or should I just smash him off with a hammer? Okay, I'll tell you. I was trying to use it to escape to another universe like I did before. What do you mean, before? I'm from a different universe entirely. I escaped it using the magic Fabergé egg. Well, now I'd explain how you and the magic Fabergé egg seem to come out of nowhere, but why the hell were you trying to escape your universe? They call him the Man of Sorrows. He travels from universe to universe, bringing despair and destruction in his wake using the magic Fabergé egg. But I stole it from him, escaping and thinking he'd be trapped. But somehow he got here anyway. That's why he's after the magic Fabergé egg. The Man of Sorrows? You mean that weirdo behind those robot Templars? Wait, how do you know about him? That piece of paper you found. It's his calling card. It shows the day, month and year that he will bring endless suffering to this world. Trust me, with this COVID-19 scare and the economic collapse on the horizon, I think that's already beaten him to it. Listen, I'm going to leave you here tied up because I don't quite trust you. I'm going to take the magic Fabergé egg, keep it safe and do my review. Jeremy, you keep a watch outside. Don't think of coming back in here and mutilating the music meister while my back is turned. Well, you're no fun. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, hello and welcome to part 2 of the Xenoblade double feature. But first, a correction I have to make from the last episode. So apparently the people that made the Xeno games, Monolith Entertainment, made Xenogears in collaboration with Square Enix. However, Square Enix constantly screwed them over, not having them make a sequel and focusing on their own projects. So Monolith decided to break off, leaving Square Enix with the rights to Xenogears. So then Monolith moved to work with Namco Bandai to make the Xenosaga series. However, for some reason they broke off again, not quite sure why they did it that time, and decided to team up with Nintendo to make the Xenoblade Chronicles series.
Everybody got that?
So with that bit of correction out of the way, it's time to review Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, the Golden Country. The story starts 500 years before the main game, starring the future antagonist Jin, along with his driver Laura, searching for survivors in the destroyed village after a massive attack by Malos and his army of giant robots. They rescue a boy named Mikhail, who people that have played the main game would recognise as one of the members of Torna. And apparently the Torna group named themselves after the nation of Torna, which a majority of this game takes place in. The group agreed to meet up with Laura's other blade, Hayes, who was also in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but I didn't think it necessary to bring her up in my review. The group fight one of Malos's robots and meet up with a guy called Adam, as well as his very familiar blade, Mithra, and his attendant, Milton. Adam agrees to help Laura find her mother, and in exchange Laura agrees to help Adam fight Malos. They head off to Gormott only to find the village burnt to the ground and lots of graves including Laura's mother. On their way back from the graveyard they bump into the young Emperor of Morardane, Hugo, along with his two blades, Bridget, future Blade of Morag, and Egeon, whose main role in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was just being in cutscenes, standing there and occasionally saying something. Laura is then confronted by a group of mercenaries led by a guy that she has a personal history with, who might have been the one that burnt down the village and killed Laura's mother. Jin cuts off the mercenary's arms, but Laura tells Jin to leave him alive, only for the mercenary to later be picked up by a bunch of Amalthus's cronies. The group arrive back in Torna only to be told that Malos plans to attack the capital. They team up with a flesh eater named Minoth. Jin finds out the identity of his previous driver, and they arrive at Torna's capital to tell the royal family of Malos's planned attack. As predicted, Malos attacks, and along with the help of Gramps, or Azertir as he was known back then, they try but fail to stop Malos from stealing an ancient artifact that will awaken the Titan. Malos reveals that he plans to use his robot army to be absorbed into the Titan's core, turning the Titan into a super weapon that will destroy all of humanity. The group leave Mikhail and Milton behind in the capital and head off to confront Malos. They fight Malos. Malos summons an army of robots. Mithra summons a giant robot snake. The giant robot snake's defeated. Mithra and Malos summon their own personal mechs. They fight for a bit. Malos destroys the capital, killing many civilians including Milton. Mithra goes berserk, destroying Malos's mech and robot army and severely injuring Malos. Unfortunately, Mithra destroys the Titan's core, killing the Titan and causing the entire nation to collapse. Oh, and also Hugo dies trying to protect the rest of the gang from the explosion, and the rest of the gang escape on a ship with all the other refugees. Mithra is horrified by what she has done and seals away her powers, transforming her into Pyra. Adam heads off with Pyro in order to seal her away. Laura and Jin are confronted by the mercenary, who's now been transformed into an abomination by a Malthus that kind of resembles the Pinky Demon from Doom on steroids. Which reminds me, I should probably play Doom Eternal at some point. Jin and Laura defeat the beastified mercenary. A Malthus poisons the Praetor and takes his place, and sends off an army to massacre the remaining Torlan refugees, including Laura, setting up Jim's motivation and the events for the main game. The gameplay is pretty similar to the previous game. The major difference being you can play as both the driver and their two blades. You can switch in between the driver and their blades during combat, and if you switch from driver to blade or blade to driver, you can perform a special attack. They also have special abilities that can be used during combat as well. There's no core collection mechanic in this game, so you basically have to make do with the blade you have and upgrade them. The items in the overworld are now marked so you know what sort of item you're getting, as well as what rarity. You can also have your drivers and blades craft items at campfires. You can still do side quests, but now completing them contributes to your community level, which gives you some perks, but also blocks you off from playing certain parts of the story if your community level isn't high enough. Your music is mostly recycled with a few new tracks and remixes. And the graphics are pretty much the same, with I think some few new stuff created for the Torna section, but the Gormott section is essentially a slight retool of the one from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This game's alright. True, it's a bit short and recycled in places, but if you see it as one of those small side games like Doom Resurrection of Evil or Half-Life Opposing Force, then it does an alright job, I suppose. Well, that's all from me. See you guys next time.